You've pretty much mastered this part, I think.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, strafe here. Strafe here.
There you go.
Alright, you got it.
Alright.
Strafe.
Yeah.
Oh!
There you go. Go.
Keep strafing, keep strafing, keep strafing. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep strafing, keep strafing.
Go.
Alright. Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Frostrun is one of a small group of race maps on Diabotical. In my opinion, it is one of the more fun race maps as it incorporates ice movement into your runs. If you've seen my Twitch streams the past few days, you'll know that I have been loving this map to the point that I have been speedrunning it. I have learned a lot from my attempts to know the differences that I made throughout my time running Frostrun. These differences have led me to raise my PB from the abysmal 32.628 second run that I had in my first Frostrun video to my insane new PB 19.704 seconds. What did I do differently? Let's find out. Hi, I'm SniperKH. I will be explaining what techniques I incorporated into my runs in order to cut my time down to 19.704 seconds. Before I get into this video, I want to make sure you guys understand something. When I refer to a run as insanely fast, I mean that run is or has the potential to be a sub 20 or anything lower than 20 seconds on the dot. There are several techniques most players will probably overlook when going for their runs. Believe me, when I began to casually speedrun this map, I believed that my 22.867 second run that I had at the end of that Frostrun video put me in the top 3 fastest completions in the world. However, I realized that I was really wrong. Today, that 23-second run wouldn't even crack the top 15 runs. So, where can most players begin reducing time? Well, let's look at the beginning of the runs. The start is a crucial moment in the run. I find myself resetting a lot if I don't get a fast speed off spawn. Most players on their first playthrough will most likely do a strategy similar to this one to gain speed. However, while some good optimizations in your run will help you get a low 23 or high 22 run, this won't help you get an insanely fast run. The strategy I used to get my 19-second run is the one you see on screen now. Now, this strategy seems very easy. Trust me, I believe the same thing. However, this strategy whooped my ass learning it, and it still does today. The strategy has the player start in the back right hand corner from where you spawn. You then want to look at the ground roughly where I am looking, and then hold your D key while moving your mouse in a way to strafe. It is hard to explain through words, so I'll let the gameplay play a few more times to let you get a feel for it. Don't worry if you don't instantly get the hang of it. I have used this strategy a couple hundred times now and still have difficulties using it properly. The speed I usually aim for is about 1300 plus, although I have had really good runs that began in the 1285 to 1295 range, so it really depends on how you execute the start. Once you land on the second ice block, just strafe towards the ledge like I do in the gameplay. This strafe should help you gain some additional speed. When it comes down to the ice ledge, there's two ways of executing this. The first way is to use the ledge as a means of getting a little bit of extra speed from strafing. This allows you to gain a small period of insane speed, but you will have to reduce your speed shortly after. More on this later. The second way is what the world record holder Goblin did. When he arrives at the ledge, instead of using it for strafing, he actually decides to skip it by jumping about a third of the way on the ledge to skip the next platform, and to go down to the ice steps as I like to call it. By the way, this technique is really difficult. I attempted it on my stream and had some issues doing it, so if you want an easier route and don't mind a small increase to your time, then the route I use will fancy you best. In my game, I use the ice ledge to strafe. Doing this lets me increase my speed. Then I jump down onto the platform, and in a confusing turn of events, I actually slow myself down. I do this because if you go too fast and you land right in front of the final concrete slab, it will launch you over the ice block and into the lava, which is something you don't want to happen. This is why Goblin avoided the concrete platform like I said earlier. Him doing so lets him keep his speed, so he blasts through this area like a madman. Once you pass the concrete slab and you make it on the ice block, use the first one as a momentum booster and the second one for strafing. Ideally, you'll want to leave the ice steps with roughly 1500 to 1600 speed. The more you leave with, the better. Let's move on to the Ice Ledg 2.0. Ice Ledg 2.0 begins with a semicircle turn to your left. The best way to clear this is by hugging the far wall or staying really close to the far wall, as to move downwards. You'll lose some speed here no matter what, but you want to lose as little speed as possible. I make it to the ice ledges with about 1370 speed, which is okay. You should try to aim for roughly 1400 speed if you can. When you land on the ledges, use them for strafing, as you see me doing here. Do this for both of the ice ledges, and you can have really high speeds going to the next area. The only thing that stands in between you and the final part of the run are 2 lava pits, but if you're going fast enough, then you should be able to slide over them without jumping. To do this, simply have 1350 plus units per second, or UPS. The final area is what I like to call free sliding. Free sliding is easily the most satisfying part of the whole run, as your speed can peak up to 2700. During this whole part, you want to be strafing. For the beginning of the real strafing areas, you want to stick close to the inner walls like I do. Then once you pass the drop down, stick to the outer part of the wall for most of the turn. Doing this will help you keep your speed. You want to move away from the wall once you see the entrance to the final stretch. As soon as you see it, strafe towards it. If done correctly, you'll keep all of your speed and then some. Now you're at the final stretch. There are 2 different ways to traversing this area. You can either stick to the icy path, which might result in a very slight time loss, and when I say very slight, I mean 100 to 200 millisecond time loss, or you can do the second strategy, which is to strafe to the left side of the room once you enter and jump over the lava pit to the other side. If you're moving quickly enough, you'll clear the lava pit and you'll land right in front of the finish line. And there you go. Now, I know there's no way to follow through this guide while doing the runs yourself, and I get that. My best piece of advice for you is to practice each area one at a time. You should only move on once you have gotten the hang of how to efficiently complete each section. I will leave timestamps in the description to each part of this video so that you can skip around the video to learn each part at your own pace. If you have questions about anything about the speedrun that I didn't cover in this video, comment them below and I'll get to as many as I can. And that's all I did to decrease my time. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, consider checking out some of my other videos to see if you'd be interested in subscribing to my channel. I want to give a massive thanks to Goblin for letting me use his gameplay. Without his run, this video would be much harder to make. Also, my social platforms are linked in the description below, so be sure to drop a follow. Finally, I'll leave a link to the Diabotical Racing Discord server in the description below. That's how I found out about Goblin's run. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.